Welcome to episode 12 of the Rebel Army podcast, the official podcast of Cork City Football Club. And this week we're going to be joined by club legend Dan Murray and much more. Welcome back to another episode of the Rebel Army podcast. I'm joined as always by Aaron Howie. How are you?
All good, Stephen. Well rested after a busy weekend of travel.
Yeah, you put up the mileage over the weekend, I'd say, did you?
I did. We saw most of the country at the weekend, yeah. We were in Ballybuffet on Friday and then Sligo on Saturday, so a lot more time. Like? Very good, actually, yeah. There was really good in Ballybuffet, and because of that, obviously the pitch was much harder than it was the last time we were up there. And Sligo was pretty much the same on Saturday. It was quite warm for most of the day. By the time the match came around, it was 7 o'clock kickoff, so it kind of cooled down a bit. But no, it was a good weekend weather-wise, so there'd be worse weekends to be stuck up there. Yeah,
of course, the earlier kick-off on Friday night as well because of the floodlight situation.
Issue. Yeah. I was asking the lads up there if they had any progress on it, and I think they got some bulbs or whatever parts they were missing sent up. I think they actually tried using Cove's ones from Cove's recent renovations, but they didn't fit. So I don't know where they are with a fix for their issue or what, but
hopefully it gets sorted.
Hopefully it gets sorted, yeah. Hopefully they get back to their usual 7:45 kick-off, but if it doesn't, we are done with our 2 trips up there this year anyway, so it actually won't affect us for the rest of the year.
So the longest trips are gone?
The 2 longest trips are out of the way, yeah. So we'll have we've them twice now at home later in the season, so they have to make 2 long trips to Cork, which is kind of a disaster for them, but I suppose just like ourselves, you'd have to make the trips anyway. They'd have to get them out of the way at some point.
Well, it was a good win.
Great win, yeah.
Another set-piece goal.
Another set, that was 5 in a row. I was like, oh God, any chance of a goal from open play? And we got one shortly after when Jayden got one. But yeah, no, it was kind of similar in a way to the first game up there where the first half performance wasn't great. Tim wasn't overly enthused with the first half performance, but second half was brilliant again. Sean Murray's header from that corner was brilliant header, and Jayden's finish, like as soon as Jayden got that ball,
the power,
you knew it was going in.
You knew their defender couldn't cope with him. Is the physicality of him, you know?
Yeah, as soon as I think the defender kind of lost his footing and tripped up, and that's how Jayden got it. But like as soon as that defender went down, I was like, right, goal here, guaranteed. Jayden running to her own goal. There's only one outcome there.
Brilliant.
And brilliant for him. 2 goals, another win. That's a big win as well because Finn Harps are up there on the top of the table.
Yeah, I know UCD beat Treaty, but like, you know,
it's us, Finn Harps and UCD are the top 3. So
yeah, but it looks now like UCD are even making a bit of a gap between themselves and Finn Harps.
Yeah, and to be fair, UCD now we've played them twice, and I think they're the best team we've played this year anyway. They were really good in both games, but yeah, look, we're still top. 7 points clear,
undefeated as well. I think, are we the only team in the country undefeated? Yeah,
men's, women's, first division, Premier Division, whatever it is. Yeah, we're the only one left undefeated, which is good. We'll take that little victory.
Hopefully, we might go the whole season. It'd be brilliant.
Imagine,
wouldn't it?
Yeah, we'd love that.
I don't think we've ever done it in the history of the club, have we? I doubt it.
I don't know, not that I know of anyway.
I don't remember anywhere. At any stage, there's always a defeat somewhere. Yeah,
even the last time we won it in 2022, there was a couple of losses along the way. One to Athlone the weekend after we won the league as well.
We should have season there. When we won the Premier Division, when we were like 20 odd points ahead in summer, we started losing matches towards the end.
Didn't we win?
Losing to Limerick or something.
We were in double digits of consecutive wins in a row. I remember getting to 12 wins. I can't remember if there was a draw then or if it went a bit longer. But we were definitely unbeaten for a long time. But I think it literally was 12 games, 12 wins at the start. Yeah, not quite that sort of levels, but no, we'll take an unbeaten run.
Very few goals conceded as well, though. No, it's still
only 3 goals.
3 goals and another +2 up on top of what we had already. So it's
the goal difference is opening up as well. Which is brilliant. It's
like you wonder, have we somebody that's set piece coach, or is that Tim himself, like, or who's organising those? Like,
yeah, it's a good question. To be honest, I don't. It could just be an overall coaching team thing that it's something they've set out to do, and they're clearly doing it very well. Because
you see it in the Premier League. No, they all have set piece coaches, which is a thing I've never heard before.
A throw-in coach and everything, like but yeah, I don't quite know that, but whatever we're doing anyway, it's working because
we're very good in the air anyway. That's all I know.
We are. So yeah, whatever they're doing is working anyway. So we'll be happy for that to continue.
Did you get any reaction?
I did. I spoke to Tim after it, and this is what he had to say.
Like a very scrappy first half. Probably wasn't a pretty game to watch, but I'll describe the second half as a real professional performance from the lads. Corner kick we noticed with how they were leaving players up the pitch, that they were vulnerable when you go short around the edge of the box, and we worked one from us, snuck around the back and got us ahead, and Jayden obviously came on, had a big impact, winning the corner, and then he gambled, and there was a mistake by the defender, and he went in, and it was a brilliant finish for such a young kid.
Yeah, he sounded very happy there after a very good away win.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's such a far trip and it's so long to get there that getting out of there with 3 points probably feels a little bit better than, you know, going up to Dublin or going up to Limerick or whatever. But he was happy, and I think everyone that watched the game would have been happy as well. It was, I know the first half, as Tim said there, was scrappy, and we still won the game. It was, no matter what, you're going to be happy after a victory, and it's been like that a couple of times this year, but as we always say, a win is a win. That doesn't matter.
And it's good to be able to bring somebody off the bench and get goals out of them. It's happened a few times this season. Exactly.
It's still very early in Jayden's City career. He started one in Wexford, scored there, scored in Finn Harps, and obviously he had Harvey Skeeters come off the bench as well for his debut. Instant impact from Harvey as well. He looked really good. So Tim, he said before as well when he was in here, and he said in other interviews that, like, he's not afraid to put his faith in his young players. He did it before, and he's continuing to do it, and it's working. So long may that continue as well.
Should look at Cahill as a regular, like, so.
Exactly, that's another one. People are nearly forgetting about Cahill now because we're what, 12 or so games in.
He's still only 17. Like.
Exactly, it's almost like he's grown in the 12 games or whatever.
16 and a 17-year-old in your team, like, and a few 18 and 19-year-olds.
Yeah, it's still it's a very, very young team to be as far ahead as it is. But yeah, that can only be good for us and for the league as a whole to have exciting young players like that. So it's brilliant.
So you went down to Sligo then on Saturday?
I did. I stayed in Ballybuffet on Friday night and went down to Sligo then on Saturday. Do you know what? Normally when we play Sligo, it's an early kick-off. I don't know where 7 o'clock came from, but I was hanging around Sligo all day just waiting for the game to come.
Did you get up 10?
But not really, to be honest. No, I just kind of walked around and sat in a coffee shop in front of my laptop for an hour or two. Yeah, no, we got to the showgrounds, and that was it was a really enjoyable game as well, actually. 1-0 win.
Not a good goal as well.
Brilliant goal from Colleen, and we could have had more goals. Like, she could have had probably a hat-trick herself. She had chances in the first half. She was absolutely terrorising that Sligo defence. And yeah, she took the goal brilliantly. Another really good, really strong performance. Yeah, Danny was delighted after the game. The girls were delighted after the game, and I think everyone's delighted for them. I'm delighted for them. It was brilliant. It's
few of their players made team of the week as well, I saw.
Yeah, we had 3 in the team of the week this week. We had Niamh Cotter, Ciara Senna, and Colleen was in as well. Danny Murphy got manager of the week as well, so he'd be delighted himself with that.
He'd be thrilled.
But it was brilliant. I was delighted for them.
Did you catch up with him?
I did. I spoke to Danny after the game. He was very happy, and has a bit of call out as well for the Cork City fans to get them into Turner's Cross next Saturday and rally in behind the team. But yeah, he was delighted, and this is what he had to say.
Buzzing. Literally, like I was just saying to someone a minute ago, the girls have had a tough month of like travel, games, different things happening, and like we got a bit tired towards the end of the second half. But like, I think for any young kid or anyone at all who ever wants to like improve and be at a level, like have a look at Colleen. Like go and see what she does, because for the last 2 weeks she's hounded us about doing extra finishing, wanting to do more, wanting to do a little bit extra. And then she gets that one opportunity today on something she's been working on and finishes it and scores, and you win the game 1-0, and it just shows that if you put in the time and effort, you get the rewards for it.
The goal she got, obviously a great finish, but she was a handful for that Sligo defence for the full 90 minutes. She'd non-stop all game.
She is. She's like a little gnat. She's like all over you. She don't give you a chance to have a breather as a defender, and she's hard to play against, and she's difficult to play against because she makes really intelligent runs and does the right things at the right times and makes good decisions on the ball. And I thought like today she was excellent, like in terms of what she did and her movement and the problems she caused the opposition.
You disappointed we didn't get more, or are you happy with how it went?
You always want to score more, and I know the girls want to. Probably created a few chances in the first half we could have scored from, but we didn't quite get on the end of them. We was kind of all looking for the pullback instead of actually being in the box. We spoke about half time, and then I think second half we created some opportunities. They were kind of half chances, but didn't really create anything like clear in the second half. So I've been a part of teams that you've won leagues and you've won every game 1-0, and I'd be quite happy to win every game 1-0 and keep a clean sheet every week.
And as you said, now it's been a busy couple of weeks of travelling and away games. Homecoming next week, we're back at the Cross, and we want an attendance record. We want to take that record back. So what's your message to the wider city support ahead of that?
Oh look, for me, like we have one of the biggest followings as a football club, and they need to start coming out and watching the women's games, and we need them to help support us. Like the girls here, like they'll do anything for this football club. They'll throw their bodies on the line like you see tonight. They'll make tackles, put their head where they shouldn't put their head. But do you know what? They do all the work, and everything's for the love of the football club. So we need people to come out and support them, get behind them, come and be a part of the journey of what we're trying to do. Look, we're a club that are still in a transition kind of time where we're trying to get up to the top end of the table. We're not quite there yet, but we'll get there. And with their support, it'll only make things easier.
Well, he's calling for that support to come out on Saturday.
Yeah, he said it there, like they really do give absolutely everything to play for Cork City, and they're so proud to play for Cork City. And the crowds have been growing in the women's game, but they haven't been consistently, up around the 800-900, the bigger numbers like that. I think for this weekend, it's a big Munster derby. It's a Saturday night. It's a later kickoff, and it's live on TV. And just to get in there and have that atmosphere there for them will be brilliant. They absolutely deserve it, as do Danny and all the coaching staff. So, bit of a call out there from Danny to get as many in as possible on Saturday.
And plus, we're back at Turner's Cross. It's reopened.
Exactly. It's been a while, and we've all wanted to get back. And now this weekend we will be back. We're there on Saturday for that game against Treaty, and we're there on Monday as well against Wexford. So we're finally back. We'd be delighted to have a massive crowd on Monday, but we also want a massive crowd on Saturday for the girls. Yeah. 2 massive crowds, 2 trips to Turner's Cross in the weekend.
Bank holiday weekend. Look, people are around. I know some people go away, but we're not into the kind of real key summer months yet.
Exactly, and hopefully the weather's good as well, and there's no better place to be than in a nice sunny Turner's Cross watching a game of football. Usually on a Friday evening, but this time it's a Saturday evening, but that's going to be just as fun.
We can promise it won't be as cold as it was a couple of weeks ago anyway.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely. Once it doesn't rain, we'll be happy.
Temperatures have definitely picked up a bit in the last kind of month, I think. But
no, but it would be great to see a big crowd. Like we played Treaty a couple of years ago, and we set the record, the league record attendance of, I think it was 1,007 at the time, and that's since been broken, I think, by Shamrock Rovers. But we want that record back, and we want to get, if we don't beat it this weekend, we want to get as close to it as we can, because that's where we as a club feel we should be. We should be the club with the big crowds, and that's where we want to be. That's where we want to get to, and we want to start that this weekend.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I think people will get out and support them. I think
hopefully, yeah. There's been a really good reaction. There's been a lot of school visits, and kids are so excited about that game in particular. Clubs have been getting in touch with us. Everyone's excited for it. So hopefully we see a big crowd. A couple of the fan groups get in. If there's a bit of chanting and drumming and stuff like that going, it would be brilliant. But yeah, we'll see on Saturday.
It's up to people listening to this, I suppose, to spread the word as well, and just
100%.
Just say it to people at work, in school, college, wherever you are. Just say it to people. Say you're going down to the Cross on Saturday. The women are playing. It's on the lights.
Yeah,
on TV.
Spread the word for us, and just on the tickets as well. It's €10 for adults tickets, but under 16s are completely free.
Oh, yeah,
so
brilliant.
It's really inexpensive for what the product that you're getting. Like, the girls are absolutely incredible. It's a really high standard of football as well. I know there's a lot of people who keep an eye, but maybe not actually don't go to games, and the feedback from people who have started to get involved on the women's side of things and come to the women's games the last couple of years is everyone's enjoying it, and people more often than not come back and really row in behind them, which is brilliant to see. And hopefully we can get a few more in that bracket on Saturday.
And as we said before, some of these girls might end up playing for their country in the next couple of years. Some of them are playing underage level already.
Yeah. And there's some players that maybe aren't playing the underage levels that should be very much deserve to be in those squads.
This is the future as well,
100%.
Make sure you were kind of there to witness it, and in a few years' time when they're playing in a World Cup or something for Ireland, and you'll say, I remember seeing them playing Turner's Cross.
Yeah, exactly. And there are players at the minute in the Ireland squad or at big clubs in England who started here or started before the merger when it was Cork Women's FC, and they've gone on to do great things. There's no doubt that there's girls in the current squad that will go on to do even greater things and bigger and better things. But this is your chance to come in and see those players and be able to say, I saw them at Turner's Cross.
Speaking of younger players, fantastic to see Mark O'Mahony make his full debut for
Brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah, he came on the last couple of games, wasn't it?
He came on against Man City.
He came on against Man City, but he came on the game previous as well.
And then he got a start. I think they lost 3-0 against Bournemouth, but just for him to get a start, that shows that De Zerbi has faith in him as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's a great, again, reflection on the coaches in the academy and in the first team and his previous schoolboys clubs as well.
2 seasons ago he was playing for us, so
he won the first division with us in 2022, brilliant.
So now he's playing with Brighton in the Premier League.
There's always a sense of pride when you're watching an ex-Cork City player go on. You nearly support other clubs just to see them do well, which is it's a funny one, but it's absolutely brilliant for him.
Just like Jake O'Brien is going to be playing against Mbappe in the French Cup final in a few weeks' time.
Brilliant, isn't it?
It's brilliant as well.
It's funny how Mark won the league with us in 22. Jake got relegated with us in 2020. It's funny how a lot of things can happen while you're at Cork City, and then everyone goes different directions, and you can reach different heights, or you can go on to do different things. It's brilliant.
But 2 great success stories from the academy.
Yeah.
Like this season, You know, I know look, I see Alan Brown won Preston's Player of the Year as well. I saw that there, I think this morning or yesterday.
Didn't even see that, but it doesn't surprise me. He's another
brilliant, and he's another
player,
one of our academy players from back in the day. Like you know.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear. You know that
there's so many of them. Ogbene, like look what he's doing in
then
the Premier League.
I saw after, was it nearly 500 odd days, Dave Harrington came back to play.
He did. He made his debut for Fleetwood. Yeah. He was very unlucky with injuries when he went over.
Didn't he?
Yeah. But no, absolutely brilliant to see him make a start there and see him get back to football. He's a brilliant keeper. He's incredible for us. I know he's really highly thought of the Ireland under-21s as well. And it's brilliant for him. Hopefully now he gets a bit of a consistent run, and I think they're actually already relegated, but it could be good for the Irish players that are there as well, that now they get a chance to kick on with Fleetwood and hopefully get them back up.
And a nice guy as well, like I see him with the kids and stuff at the shop and stuff before when he was with the club, he chatting away to them all, and you know. Yeah,
he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant on the pitch and off the pitch. So delighted to see that for him.
No, especially when the player's been injured for a while, you love to see him back. Yeah, so this week we have a club legend coming in as the guest, and somebody that's already, I suppose, part of the furniture of the academy as well.
Yeah.
You know,
and he was involved in the first team last year as well, towards the end.
Team, so we get a couple of different viewpoints, hopefully, from Dan Murray.
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Welcome to the podcast, Dan.
Thanks, but I'm a bit disappointed, really. I think I'm last resort. We've had a kit man on, and Fenner's on before me. It's a disgrace, really. To
be honest, when you put it that way,
a kit man on especially, and Fenner's actually. Fenner's giving me stick. I'm on before you. I'll never live it down.
We might have been saving the good ones for later in. Like
how he said there's no one else to do it, so you're on this week. We're struggling. Which is fair enough.
Well, take me back. How did you end up in Cork?
How did I end up in Cork?
Because you started in Cambridge, was it?
Yeah, so I was obviously educated in Cambridge, born in Cambridge, educated in Cambridge, so very clever. Not really. So I was at Peterborough with Flinny, really. So
you were with
John O'Flynn.
John O'Flynn at Peterborough.
Yeah, he came back. Obviously, he kicked off when he came back in 2002.
Around the same time as George O'Callaghan and all them. Yeah.
And then I think I came in that October.
So who was the manager back then?
Liam Murphy. I think John O'Flynn literally said to Liam Murphy, there's a centre back there that you could come over, you might be interested in. I think Stephen Napier got badly injured. Did he do his Achilles or something like that? Something along those lines. And they were looking for a centre back, and I came over 20 years old, I think I was then, 20 years old, just come over, wanted to play football really. Came over only on loan really to start with. For that, probably not many people remember the last winter season.
That's right.
We went from that July till January, I think. And I came over on loan till that January, and then I went back to Peterborough thinking I might get a chance at Peterborough, and then literally got offered a 2-year deal to stay at Cork City. Then I don't think the manager was even announced, and I don't think Pat Dolan had been announced, but Liam Murphy said, we want to sign you. He was kind of looking after signing a few of the old players back, and I said, yeah, why not? And the rest is history, really. I'd never thought, obviously never thought at that time that I'd stay for so long. And
yeah, you probably thought you might stay for a year or two, head back home again.
Yeah, I suppose, like you said, I never really, like it's probably never even thought about League of Ireland as a route of playing professional football.
And had you any connection to the country or anything?
My dad was born in Ireland a long time ago, but that's it. So nothing. I'd never been to Cork, Enniskillen.
Okay.
So nothing. There was nothing drew me to Cork. Never been to Cork before, so it was just like, right, let's give it a go. And obviously, when you're young and single and
something different, anyway,
come over. And when you're that age, all you want to do is play football.
And Peterborough, what division in England were they in?
I think they were in League One at the time. When I left them, they were it was before the owners that now Barry Fry was actually the owner before I left. I think it was Barry Fry anyway before I left.
So famous at the time,
so it was just, he pretty much said it out loud, really, don't see you having a future here. So
that honest.
All right then. Yeah, sure. I think it's if you ask a lot of the lads that have played in England or go to England, come back from England, so ruthless and cutthroat that you literally are as only good as your last game. So make good of it when you can, really, one of them. And like I said, I don't think I really ever had too many options to ever leave Cork City either, really. It was never a case of like I got to end of my contract and it was like, oh, will I go back to England? It was more like I wanted to sign back for Cork City nearly every time. And there was no reason for it. At that time, Cork City we were probably one of the best teams in the country. I was enjoying it, playing every week, and never really crossed my mind to leave, really. The only time, obviously, I left was when the club literally went out of business.
But you kind of came in sort of like at the start of a really new era at the club, really, if you think about it. Probably Brian Lennox was only after taking over. Was he such? And the whole... There was a shift in...
big time. I think it was a shock to my system, but I think like I was at that age where I kind of embraced what we were at. It was like when I first came over for that winter season, I think Cooksey had about 6 or 7 full-time professionals. I think there was me, Mick Devine, John O'Flynn, Georgie, Gregor Halloran, Conor O'Grady, James Mulligan. I don't know if anyone remember him. Long time. I think Cooksey actually paid money for him.
That's right.
Long time ago from Finn Harps or something like that. So there was about 7 or 8 of us, and it was like we'd try. A few of us would train on a Tuesday morning. Even sometimes we'd train with Murph's, Liam Murphy's like college thing in Stefanefa. So we'd be different, and then we'd obviously train with all the part-time lads like the Decky Daly, Billy Woods, Collie T. O'Brien.
So the original kind of successful kind of Cork City team that was kind of coming through the end of the era.
Yeah.
And a new team was kind of
coming
emerging.
through. And that was that for that winter season. Then obviously Pat Dolan came in and everything changed. The whole professionalism. I think Brian Lennox sort of see where it could go, and to be fair on him, he put in whatever he had, I'd imagine, to where it was. We were a full professional team then, like we had.
Was it a case that the whole team was kind of...
I'd say, it started slowly, I suppose. We were definitely into double feet, like when Kevin Doyle came in, sort of Mark McNulty sort of went from what he was doing, he went full-time. Benno kind of went full-time. There was Hoggy was in and out, he went full-time. So it was like we were getting more and more professional, and like the nucleus of a really good team was there, really, and it was building. Then Joe came back, then Fenny came in, and of course it was all building. Like I said, it weren't like a instant success that you had to have it. Like Pat Dolan came in, built, and then obviously Rico took over.
And like, what was Pat like in the early days?
He was like you said. Do you know, like if you spoke to him, that is him. I don't think he would change, and mad for some of the stuff that he'd do, but so professional, so driven on making us successful. And like he cared so much about probably all of us, I think, really. Like obviously he liked some players more than other players, but like he knew how to push everyone and get the best out of everyone and make us as professional as we possibly could, really. The whole club, really. I think, like I said, he was doing so much.
He had a commercial mind as well.
Yeah.
Like, he was kind of the big on the Rebel Army and all this kind of, you'd see him everywhere, and he was organising events and kind of got, I think, Nissan on board as a main sponsor. And
no, I'd say, like he said, if he's at a club, I think he's all in on that club. And for the 2 years that he was there, I think he definitely was full on, and the club was going from strength to strength. I think I suppose like he kind of...
It was a good run in Europe under him, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first one in Total Cup when we beat Malmo and Nijmegen and that. So, yeah, so like I said, it was, he quite, like, I don't know, well, I think Pat will always tell you that, kind of, he took the team because of John O'Flynn and Georgie, really. Like he said, right, I've got these two. Like Flynn, he was obviously nearly the top goal scorer in the league, one of the best players, Georgie, one of the best players in the league, and he was like, I've definitely got something here to like build on. Of Cork City, the crowd, like he said, I think he loves the big crowds. He plays up to the crowds. He plays up to whoever, and like you said, he built the brand of Rebel Army and all that kind of stuff. So it was exciting to be around. And like I said, being I was only in my early 20s, it was great place to be around. Like probably life as well, not just a football player, like off the pitch as well. We had such a close knit kind of players and team and
hang out together and stuff like that.
All that kind of stuff that you probably take for granted, but it was a big thing, and I think it definitely was a big thing of why we were pretty successful as well. That we probably say you're friends, and probably would say you're still friends now, really.
When Damien came in, was his approach different?
He was a lot more relaxed. He was a lot more laid back, and sort of probably put it more into our hands, the responsibility of performing. You know, like you said, I think he came in, he kind of realised like we'd finished second, I think, the year before, so he kind of knew he had a
good chance.
He had a great chance at a nucleus of a title-winning team, as you'd say. So he kind of was a lot more laid back and sort of, don't get me wrong, he was really could be aggressive and like get the best out of every single player, but like he knew how he wanted to play. He was probably more exciting than Pat Dolan. Pat Dolan we knew exactly what our jobs were, and it was successful that way. Damien kind of not let us off the leash a little bit, but gave us a bit more freedom than Pat done, which is, like you said, you get the two of the were successful, so it worked for us. But it was more, like you said, I think we started really well, and he just kept with it.
That's when Kevin started banging in the goals,
then, exactly,
wasn't it? And then the eyes were on him, really, weren't there? Because he left kind of
halfway through that, yeah. So, like I said, I think Kev Doyle probably did nearly 20 goals in the first half of the season. But that was it, yeah. Like, he was banging in the goals. I think Roy O'Donovan had just come back.
That's right.
He was flying. He was, like, kind of, the belief was there. Like, even for probably some of us, there was kind of, we never beat Shells for so long before that season. And then we beat them a couple of times. And, like, that kind of kept them moved the momentum in our way, and we knew we could win the league then with probably the fresher younger players in, like Roy Doyle was gone, Flinney was still banging in the goals, Finney was playing really well. It just all come together really at the same time. We're young, fit, and good team really.
And like even in defence, strong defence, like yourself and Alan and Hoggy and Danny. And, you know, like there was that stayed together for a while.
I did. I think, like you said, that was why it was so good, because it was together for so long. I think we knew each other's probably weaknesses as well as our strengths. We had good goalkeepers in Mick and Notes at the time, so we took probably. Well, I don't know if it is. I think we took so much pride in not conceding goals, then winning games and scoring goals, kind of thing, that it doesn't seem to be that kind of the case these days, that people take how much a clean sheet meant to us as it does to people today. So like you said, it was sure good players like Benno got his move to Reading at the time. Danny got a move to Marlborough. So we were all good players, and like I said, it was just worked really well, and luckily there was no real bad injuries as well, so it was pretty much like we had about 15, 16 players that were playing every week, and whoever was playing was as good as each other. There was no weakness really in that squad.
Go back to the game against Derry, winning the league. Like, that must have been one of the career highlights, was it?
Oh, unbelievable, yeah. Like, at the time, in Turner's Cross as well, and Kieran keeps saying the last day at the Cross, last day with the shed, and something like that. But it's just everything that build up of that week. Like, I think you could tell by the Tuesday that if you could have played any day from then and we were going to win that match. Just the feeling for the week before the game, everything about it. We were ready for that match. We were ready for it at our place. And like you said, it was probably, well, God knows how many people were actually there on the day. I don't know, 11, 12.
People up over the house
everything.
And
like, probably to do it the way we done it was even more special at home. And when you have to win a match, it was special. And like I said, you don't get to lift trophies in your home stadium very often, but to do it there, it was special. And like I said, he hadn't done it for so long as well. It was one of the best nights as a professional footballer for me. All right, yeah.
And it meant that in the following season you got to go into the Champions League. So that was kind of to hear that anthem, I'd say was
I think that's what we used to talk about was like that's the first thing you want to hear is the music. When you're standing in the line in front of and you hear the Champions League music, then you realise it's that's where you're at, kind of thing. It's it was good. It's so, like you said, you can talk the Champions League is the pinnacle of club football, and you kind of realise the Champions League is so much, even compared to Europa League, the Champions, just everything about it, the press, the setup, the teams, everything is just a step up. Like you said, it's I'm luckily got to play in the Champions League. I can say I played in the Champions League.
You won in the Champions League as well. You won one of the group stages, didn't you? Did you win one of the group stages, or was it in the Europa League? Did you get knocked into the Europa League?
We were at for Cork City.
Yeah.
No, we never managed to get out. It was a lot harder back then.
In the qualifying stages, in the early qualifying stages, did you beat someone?
In the Champions League, we beat the Cypriot team, didn't we?
The Cypriot team, and you went on then to play
Red Star.
Red Star, and if you had beaten Red Star, you would
get
AC Milan.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, we would. Yeah. No, yeah. Like you said, it's some of the teams that you see in the draws for even the Champions League qualifiers that would remain is.
Yeah, but that Cypriot
unbelievable.
Team, they often get into group stages. Like, for you to beat them, that was an achievement.
It was, yeah. At the time, I think it's like everyone keeps saying the budgets. When you compare the budgets, it was like theirs was 4 or 5 times bigger than our one. And like I said, they've got into the Champions League or the Europa League group stages now. It's probably a disservice to where our league's gone compared to everyone others league. But that's probably another conversation for another day. The whole league and that kind of thing. But no, it was unreal.
What was the Red Star like? Because they would be quite. I think they've changed names. I can't remember what they're called.
They're different name. I won't even try and pronounce their name or anything. Well, I missed the second leg. I was suspended for the second leg. So I think me, Joe, and Danny Murphy were suspended for the second leg, and obviously, like, I don't know if you've seen their ground on TV. They've been in the Champions League as well.
They have,
but they have the supporters they were in there like 3 hours before the game, and we'd walk down through this tunnel. Like, it's literally under their main supporters, and you'd be hearing a thumping and walking down this tunnel. You'd be like, "Oh my, what's that?" It can't. Like, this was an hour and a half before the game, where you normally any other ground there'd be no one around, and coming out to that and the noise and that was just different level altogether.
But they were a club of history. I mean, they had won the old European Cup in 91, which would have potentially been one of the last times it was before it became the Champions League.
Yeah.
So, like, there's Cork City, a club that at this stage was about 20 years old versus this historic European side.
No, I think, like you said, most supporters will remember the European nights more than probably anything else. They stand out so much, and the teams you played against. And like I said, luckily enough, we had some decent results along the way to remember. And like I said, the Champions League is the pinnacle, and unfortunately, we only had it 1 year at that stage. We should have, to be honest, dominated then.
You had a few years of Europe, but not the Champions League, obviously. Yeah.
But it is different. Champions League is a different level to Europa League, whatever now.
And under Damien, then he was still kicking on. I mean, Roy was banging in the goals. Then he got the attention of Sunderland. Leon McSweeney came in. He added a bit of pace as well. There was always somebody new kind of coming into the lineup.
There was, yeah. Well, at that time, especially, definitely, like I said, it was like whether it was luck or from good recruiting, like lads coming back, Roy coming back from England, really kicked us on with his pace and probably his aggression and belief and stuff like that. Kicked on and gave us, but that was probably why we didn't kick on as much as we should have done. We didn't get the players in to like refresh us or kick us on kind of thing to move to stay the best team, which we probably should have done. Like I said, we fell away again. Then Leon came in, Colin Healy came back.
That's right, Colin.
And
Colin and Gareth Farley for a while they couldn't play, wasn't it?
No,
the FIFA thing.
The 2 free clubs thing or whatever that was then. So that was the next team, and then we who took over from Brian then?
So Arcadia came in.
Yeah.
So that was in 2007.
That's when we won the cup then. So we won the cup and we had a team then, and then God knows what happened.
That was a good experience seeing the RDS to to win the cup and to lift the FAI Cup as well. I know different to the league, but a big occasion.
Brilliant. Well, it was more still like we left behind when we lost to Drogheda at Lansdowne Road. That's one of the biggest regrets that I'll ever take as a footballer, that we were so bad and deservedly lost. It was embarrassing, really. But that was the next one. We wanted to win that.
Got the double that year, yeah.
And we were the best team and we should have got it, but we never did get it. But then to go back and win it was brilliant. I said it's for a one-off winning the cup is brilliant. Special day. The whole thing, everyone gets behind it. The whole supporters buy into it. Going up to Dublin and the stadium, it was mad. It was bouncing.
It was nice because I know it's in the Aviva now, but the RDS is still big enough.
Yeah, but it's a lot more closer. Yeah, a lot more closer to the pitch and that. And I said, I think there was another same as the Derry game. We kind of on that day you kind of think, oh, we're not losing this, even though we only won 1-0, and then the wind was so bad, time of the year of it. But it was a special day, and that was another really good team. Like I said, Liam McSweeney had come back and was playing really, really well. Colin Healy was in that team. Gamble was one of the best players in the division as well, and it was sort of like we had a really good basis of another team to push on again, but never really happened again.
But then there was confidence at the start of the next season. So I know Damien left in the winter months.
Yeah,
they brought in Alan Matthews, but then Georgie came back, Danny Murphy came back. All of a sudden there was a kind of a run for the league. Like people thought.
No, definitely.
And Dave Mooney was brought in, who was a very good centre forward.
Oh, brilliant player. I think that was the thing. I think the whole place was bouncing because they brought Alan Matthews in and they backed him. To be fair, whatever players he wanted to bring in, he brought them in. But it just we started slowly and then we were on a flying run, and then it just the
financial crash.
It just went bang, and the whole team kind of fell apart. Players left, had to sell players. Moons had to be sold to Reading. John O'Flynn left to go to Barnet at the time. Patrick Sullivan was one of our best players that year. He left to go to Shamrock Rovers, so it was a mess.
Some of the boys, I think Joe, did he go to somewhere in the UK as well, and so did Dennis Bean. There was a load of them went.
Yeah, Hartlepool. Two of them went to Hartlepool.
That's right.
So it's just a couple of years there where it just fell apart. And
did you stayed around at the time?
Yeah,
until the end of the season.
No, I think.
Oh no, into the following season.
Yeah, I did when Paul Doolan took over, when the great Tom Corlin took over the club for whatever reason or whatever he done to the club. But Paul Doolan was brilliant as well. He was a great manager, and like I said, he put together kind of a decent enough team, a competitive
good
team.
Reputation too.
Yeah, he was. He was really good coach, really good at what he done. Like I said, people talk about other stuff about him, and I get confused by it because he was such a good coach and a good manager, and how to get a successful team. And we were kind of around the top of the league. We were like not 1, 2 or 3 places, and I think we were top for a couple of. At one stage we were top and we were going really well, and that's when then it went out again. There was no money in the club, so then Healers left.
2 seasons in a row this happened. Yeah,
Healers left. Then that summer, did Dennis leave that? Or Healers definitely left, and other people left, and it was like, oh, what are we going on here? And we got to the end of the season. And I think I don't know if we finished 3rd or 4th, but we got into Europe somehow, and we were like, oh, we're good, we're safe, like whatever. And then it just got worse and worse at a personal point of view, and then no money, no wages. And then Roddy Collins came in then. That was an experience. And
when you say an experience, totally different to every other manager you had, I'd say, was he?
Yeah, I just can't understand how he went about it, unless he got told to try and upset me, do everything you can to upset you. Tried to ban me from training. Told me, I don't want you as captain. You're not the captain anymore. I don't know what it was. Like if he'd come to me and said, I'm giving someone the captaincy instead of you, I'd have gone, yeah, fair enough. But he put it out on the. I don't know. I don't know.
Did you stand up for the boys like when it was a case that there was no wages coming in? And...
Yeah, we all did. Like we all come together really. Like I said, it was just a team, and like obviously I would like to think I was not the face of it, but the voice of it. And I think I it was part of my job to do it, to be honest. So that's what I done. But some of the stuff he'd be doing, he'd be like, instead of training, he'd go and I would go for a walks for training, and then he'd be joining and training 2 foot in the lads in training, and I'd be like, what is going on here? And then, like, obviously, then at the end, it was a case of just for my own sanity, I kind of had to leave to go up to Rovers, and then unfortunately the club literally went bust, and Forrest came in and saved the day and started again.
But the year before that, one of the things you kind of nearly forgot, I'd say, in your own mind was, like, with a weekend team, you won the Setanta Cup.
Yeah.
Like, that was an unbelievable achievement with a very weak inside.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was. Yeah, but like I said, it was the togetherness that we had at the time. Like, there was still a good nucleus of Liam Carney. Danny Murphy was still around then for when we did win the Setanta Cup. I think there was a few others.
A lot of young players.
Hoggy was still around, yeah. A few, like, coming through and all that. But like I said, it was great to win another cup. But great to win, especially at Turner's Cross as well. But like, it was just everything in the background sort of numbed.
2 seasons of, you know, and I know
for
Hoggy
everyone.
wrote about it afterwards, but it must have been very tough mentally to kind of cope with that.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Not normally you're going to get paid.
Yeah,
you know,
it just got too much in the end, I think, for everyone. Like I said, you trust the fella, everyone trusts the fella to get paid the wages, but
you went to Rovers. Was it Michael O'Neill was in there?
Yeah.
What was Michael like? Because he had a bit like that was the start of the Rovers we see today in many ways.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
It was a change of the club.
He was, yeah. I think unbelievable time for him. He knew just knew exactly what he wanted and how he would get it, and kind of built that Rovers squad kind of around it. He was more probably beyond his time kind of thing. He was like picking a team for one game, but he knew his team for 2 or 3 games down time that he'd change, and kept, like, we had 20 players that were really, really, really good, like the best in the league, and he, you know, almost kept us all happy. And like I said, it was kind of moving away. Sort of Bows and Rovers were 2 best teams for my first season, and like at the start, the belief was massive, really, to go and win the league. Like I said, Tala coming together. They're kind of still really early days of where they are now, but you could kind of see that they had everything nearly in place to probably. That club is probably so far ahead of everyone else for that reason now, I would say.
But it also helped in that they had a bit of a run in Europe the following season. Then they have to win that league.
Yeah.
They went into the Europa League, but they got into the group stage, which was the first Irish team to do it.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly. I think that's, unfortunately, everything costs something now, doesn't it? So they had the money to do whatever they do, whether that went on the training ground that they've got now, went on the players that they brought in to kick on. But it's the money involved is different level compared to anything.
What was it like to play in a group stage, guaranteed 6 matches?
Yeah, well, we were rubbish, so we didn't win any. So
like the season was nearly over, was it? And you were having
it was over. Yeah, it was over. Yeah, I remember. We had.
You playing Spurs or something?
That's our last game. Spurs. I don't know if we had 2 after the season finished. I think we had 2 games. Rubin Kazan away in Russia, and Tottenham in Tala. They were the last 2 out season, and the Tottenham game wasn't until December, I think, literally December the 17th. Almost, I don't know what I got married that December as well, so it was like you plan your off-season stuff. So you're going to get married after the season, so December's normally easy one.
How would you explain that to us?
Luckily, it wasn't on the same day. That would be a beaut, wouldn't it? So that I knew that remembered, but going over. But everything about it is that everything's set up, like I said before, like you can tell qualifiers to the group stages is a different level altogether as well. Like, the press, like even the boards around pitches and all that kind of stuff, it goes up. Everything goes up
and
a level.
Obviously the TV cameras, if it's Spurs. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
what was Roy Hartley in, like? Because it was obviously there that you were playing.
Yeah, it was then, yeah. I'm unreal as a Spurs fan as well. It was probably another one of the highlights is to play there. Kind of probably don't remember it as well as I'd like to, really. I remember
Who was
the
on
game.
their side? Like, who were the star players at the time?
Well, Defoe and Pavlyuchenko were the two centre forwards starting. The Kabul was at the back. Townsend, who plays for Luton now, he was on one wing. De Santos, I don't know if you remember him, Mexican little fella, he was on other wing. But it was more, we went 1-0 up completely against the run of play, obviously.
That must have
down there.
The crowd,
yeah, but obviously the Rovers fans were going mental and so loud and that, so it was one of them. But then, so we went 1-0 up. I think, I don't know, 50 minutes, 60 minutes or something like that, and you're like, gee, we're never going to, like, and then you see their bench warming up, Bale, Modric, kind of them players, and you're like, oh. But then obviously they turned it on a bit there now, and I don't know what they won, 3-1, 4-1 or something like that, and they never came on, but that's just a different level. Everything about it, like I said, we obviously that you warm up, you say you train on the pitch the night before a game, you're allowed to train on the pitch the night before a game. So we went to White Hart Lane on I think the Thursday's Europa League, so the Wednesday night, trained on the pitch, and you know, you look at this pitch, sometimes you go, oh, it's cut up a little bit in different areas where you play a bit of football. Come back the next day and it's you like,
perfect.
Has anyone been on that pitch for like 3 or 4 weeks? It's just the different levels that you see and that you remember, really. Like I said, you don't remember the actual game so much.
But you remember the build up to it.
Yeah, everything about it, yeah. And afterwards and stuff like that.
People always say that, I supported that team. But what is it actually like to play against the team that you support? Like, do you just forget that then?
Yeah.
You know,
well, I did at the time, I suppose. Like you said, you don't really overly think it that you're playing the team that you support. It's just, it was great to play at White Hart Lane and kind of a full White Hart Lane as well, because they were dropping prices for the Europa League game, so they dropped the prices. So it was pretty much full. There was 30,000 people there, so that was even better, really.
Excellent,
so you only kind of remember that part, and some of the players like Carl Walker. I got Carl Walker's shirt from that game, so some people now won't even remember Carl Walker played for Spurs. They only remember Man City. You know.
And you still have it at home?
Somewhere. My missus definitely won't let it be out anywhere. It's probably in the loft, in the attic or something like that, in a box somewhere. But I definitely still got it somewhere, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like definitely. Great memories. So you stayed up there for just 2 seasons. You won 2 back-to-back leagues with them.
Yeah.
And Danny was up there with you at the time.
Danny was up for the first year, yeah. He came back.
Commuted up and down?
Yeah, we commuted together, and we had a place up there as well, the two of us that could stay. So it was, like I said, it was difficult for the two of us, but kind of thing, it was, at the time, we didn't have really much choice, really. Like, Cork City had gone, really. So it was a case of, we moved up there, and I loved it up there. I would have stayed longer than the 2 years, but Stephen Kenny didn't want me, in a nutshell.
Okay, so Michael went to the Northern Ireland job, did he?
Yeah.
And Stephen Kenny came in?
Yeah.
What happened? He just said, no, you're not in my plans for next season?
Yeah, I don't, like you said, I don't know if people in press and kind of this kind of thing, it's, he's a strange person to speak to on the phone. There's a lot of long pauses, silences and kind of stuff like that. So I think I spoke to him pretty much as soon as he got the job. And it was like, yeah, I want you to sign back and this, that, and the other. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to sign back. I was actually going on my honeymoon. So I'm going on my honeymoon. I'll speak to you when I get back and we'll get it sorted. And thought nothing of it, to be honest. Then when I came back and he spoke to him and he was like, the club's going in a different direction and I'm not sure, don't see you in my plans. So I was like, all right, then. I didn't know what to say or what you can say to that, really. So that was the end of it. And
so what do you do in a scenario like that then? Do you kind of like make a few calls or?
I suppose so, yeah. I've never really had an agent, so it was probably more down to me. And I actually think I text Billy Woods to say, I'm leaving Rovers. Even more, it won't even say, the Cork City want to sign me, because obviously they got promoted. It was like, do you reckon Cork City want to? It was just more of a
chat, like. Do
you reckon they would? And spoke to him first, and then Tommy was obviously the manager the minute, and kind of that's what I was like. I didn't really want to, if it wasn't Rovers, I didn't really want to stay in Dublin then, really. Obviously with the wife was staying in Cork, we had my son now, So he was there. So I didn't really want to travel anymore, and Cork sort of fell into place really, and that was kind of probably the end of kind of my full-time football, because then I went into full-time work then, as well as playing.
So you were a part-time gig with City, was it?
Yeah, for my second stint, I think I played for
3 or 4 seasons.
4 seasons, yeah. One with Tommy, then Tommy got let go and Stewie took over for the second part of that season. So that was 2, and then two with John Caulfield when there were 2 really good years. Really enjoyed them 2 years, and it was
second in the table, another cup final. Yeah, but you got to play in the Aviva.
Yeah. It's brilliant. But I could kind of tell that, like, and rightly so, John was kind of moving away. The full-time players were playing a lot more than what I was playing, and it's probably too arrogant to say, but I don't think I was ever a good sub. Okay. And there wasn't a sub very often, and like I didn't fancy travelling the country as a sub, and with work and family and all that, it was just probably a good time to.
And it's that side of the game, like, because like you had gone from playing Moy Hart Lane, winning leagues, winning with City and Rovers, then going into full-time work. Like, it must be hard to transition.
Yeah. It was hard. It was really, really hard. But like, I think once I went into full-time work, thank God I still had the football.
Yeah.
If I hadn't got the football and went into full-time work, I think it would have been even harder, like the work part of it, because I'd never worked, as you would say, never really worked day properly in my life. I'd always been a footballer since I left school. So yeah, that was hard, but I still had the football for them first 3 or 4 years, which made it a lot easier, I think. But it's difficult. Until I finished full-time football with Cork City, you don't realise how much time it actually took up, as well as your job, and like I said, with kids and stuff like that, you don't realise.
Very hard to commit to everything.
Yeah. So that was the next thing, but it was, like I said, I think if I'd stayed, I could have stayed. I think I could have stayed another season with John Caulfield when they won the cup. Did they win the cup that year? Yeah, they were 2016. They won the cup. I could have stayed that year, but I don't think I would have played.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have played very much anyway. So it would have been harder.
Did you go somewhere else for coaching then? Did you go to Middleton or something?
I went and played for Middleton for about a year and a half, I'd say. I think, like I said, I enjoyed playing. I didn't enjoy the training, and everything was kind of like, it's kind of everything. I was getting older. The team were getting younger, so the change room was slightly different, and kind of this kind of thing. And like I said, you're going to Middleton, and I was so used to training nearly every day and committing to it. And then lads are working full time; they can't commit to training, and kind of it was like, oh, what's going on here? And then I kind of fell into that thing as well, where you're going, oh, I'm working as well, I can't really make it. So you kind of take it, you're doing it in injustice. That's what. And in the end, I played for Middleton, and we got promoted from the first division to the Premier Division. And I said, I think I've had enough there now. And that's when I started coaching in the academy, really. And never really thought about playing again in the Munster League. Really, I think I had my stint.
Yeah, but so I suppose that kind of all your experience playing the league and playing for so long must be very helpful for the younger players. Like, how do you find it rewarding working with younger kids?
Yeah, I love it. I do. I get a good buzz out of it. I really enjoy it. Do you know, when you're a footballer, you don't think you're going to enjoy the coaching, or you don't think it, but the more I've done it, the more I've enjoyed it. And I definitely, like I said, I don't know if I'd be, like a coach for summer camps or individual coaches that people do, which is brilliant. And some of them are really, really good.
You kind of want a competitive nature where they play on the pitch.
Yeah, I like a team, having a team, being involved in the team, and improving that player in the team, improving the team, whatever it is. Or say I get a great buzz out of seeing players doing well. Like I've only worked with Jaden and Carlos Sullivan for a year or so between them, but great buzz seeing them score goals. Carlos Sullivan's ripping it up. Great player. Always knew he was going to be a great player. Seeing him, even Harry Nevin coming back. He was in the academy before he went over to Preston, seeing him do really well. Great buzz seeing like Marco Manni making his debut for Brighton. Unbelievable, like seeing that he came through academy, being able to say, you see him come up through it. Like they're them kind of players. Franco, who's doing really well at Crystal Palace. Them kind of players that you see doing so well, and like it's just a great thing for the whole academy, really. Like I said, you see in the players, there's a pathway there. I think everyone can see a pathway for a player, and being involved in that is
so it's kind of exciting. So yeah, it's like a new stage of your life, like as you go from being a player now to being kind of like a mentor.
Yeah, that's weird. I suppose you look at it. Like I said, I don't think they're probably you get like most of the players at a certain age don't know I played for Cork City or was whatever at Cork City. Their parents probably know that I played for Cork City.
Do you ever bring out YouTube clips or anything like that?
Well, my picture's up in Bishopstown, isn't it? So they walk past it every now and again. So it's like, I wonder why he's there.
You lifted enough trophies in your time, so you can show them.
That's it. But like I said, the parent and the younger lads, and now that my younger fella's in, he's only seen me play a few games, so they don't even know what's come through. But I really enjoy it. And like I said, luckily Connie keeps letting me coach.
But doesn't it? It's kind of like a lot of the group that I suppose played in that team in the 2000s are now coaching.
Yeah,
which is kind of like with Liam, Danny, and so on, and there's a few others as well.
Yeah.
You know, like it must be nice. It's kind of like that group has stayed together.
Yeah. I think, like you said, like Benno was doing it for, obviously he's working VFI. Derek's working VFI now.
And so obviously Colin was there and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I think that's why probably half that team was so good, because there were so many leaders in a group that were looking to do different things and like get the buzz out of it. Like you said, it's different gone all different paths coaching wise, whether it's individual coach or a team coach, senior coach or youth coach. It's just, but like probably like I said, giving something back but it's more like not just giving it back. It's like I'm getting enjoyment out of it as well.
Yeah. So you must have got a kick out of seeing Mark getting his coming on against Man City and then getting his debut, and it is. It's
brilliant.
Nice little things for the club.
It is, yeah. It is. Like I said, we keep. Like I said, you see, there is we moan about what we have, but sometimes you have to celebrate what we have done and what we're bringing through, and it's great to see. It's exciting to see that it is.
What about
possible.
Jacob Brahim? Was he around when you were?
He was in. I didn't really get to coach him very much. He was older than the teams that I was coaching, but seeing him, you could see he was really good. Like him, like you said, if you the players that you could still have there now playing that are kind of that age, Josh, who's gone to Rovers now, Josh Honan and Jake, the two centre backs that Colin and Richie had in an under-19 team, and you go, Jesus Christ, you could almost build a team around them two if you had the two of them there for so long. So players like that, really, it's this. Like I said, different paths that they've all gone on is exciting to see, really.
And then last season, halfway through the season, you get to step in and kind of help out with the first team. What was that experience like, being in the coaching?
Do you know, I loved it. I really enjoyed it. Different to obviously academy football and all that, and it was all about the result, and the day-to-day was brilliant. But still, obviously, the disappointment of losing to Watford would always hurt and will remain hurting, I would imagine. But the experience has been no regrets. I honestly don't believe Richie, me, Flinny, whoever was involved, Decky and Flinny, Greg, I don't think we could have done anything more than we did. Obviously, we might have been able to, I don't know. But looking back, we tried everything. It never really training wise. You would say if you watch the lads in training, you go, oh, we should have enough to stay up. But then when the match come, we just couldn't get over the line. You could moan about injuries, could moan about this, that, and the other. But on that day against Waterford, we were not as good as them, and they won, really, which is hard to take. But it is what it is. But loved being in with Richie and the other lads. It was really enjoyable, and so something I'd look at doing again in the future, I'd imagine.
Was there a bit of a buzz being at the side of the pitch in the Cross again with a full house kind of?
Yeah, a small bit. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's I'd have liked to have been in better times when we were winning games. I think that would have been a bit different. I think it was
a good cup run, all right.
Yeah,
like, I suppose getting to.
But I only came in for the semi-final. I'm a glory hunter, so I only came in for the semi-final, but that was a good buzz. I think, like I said,
and unlucky actually in that semi-final. Like, things could have gone away in the first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that was us last. Or when I came in, that was the first team all over. We like moments, details that people seem to always talk about. There now we weren't good enough in the moments that mattered, and that's the difference between Premier Division, the First Division. It's night and day. The moments is where you have to score when you're on top, and if you don't, they're going to score. So it's game over. The difference between the Premier Division and First Division is huge.
So do you keep an eye on the first team this season? I know you're not involved in the...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll always go and watch them, and like I said, I'm involved with the under-20s this year now. So we have a lot of input into the first team. If they're missing players, our players go up to them. And then vice versa, if players are looking to get fit or need a game, they come down to play with us. So
Harvey would have made his debut the other night, then came back and played for you.
Yeah, he came down. I don't know, poor fella had to come all the way back from Harps on the Friday night and then play on a Saturday afternoon down in Cove.
I think Jaden did something similar earlier in the
season.
He
did early in the season, so it's probably a disservice on the lads to make him do it, but professional football, I suppose. They have to get used to this, especially if you're in Cork. You know you're going to be travelling.
Yeah,
everyone's going to be travelling, so it's hard. But they've been, like I said, I keep saying, like, I don't think many other teams have the pathway that Cork City have. These lads that are getting their debuts, Harvey getting a debut. There might be a couple more as the season goes on, and long may that continue. And
you're doing well so far this season as well, aren't you? You're getting a couple of wins on the other.
Yeah, we're doing all right. I'd say we're just doing all right. I think it's can always do better, I would say. Always do better.
So what's the future? Have you all your badges now?
I've done, I'm up to my, I suppose, the A licence. I've got that, the Elite A licence. I've got all them. So the next one is to do the Pro licence. But I've no rush to do that, I suppose. Unless I knew I was serious in going for a Premier Division job, I suppose that's the only time I need to get a Pro licence. So I don't see that anytime soon. So that's the next one. I've got everything that I need to have to do what I'm doing at the minute. So that's what I'm going to stick to, really.
Are you still balancing full-time work with coaching and all that? That can be a struggle too, I imagine, is it?
Like everyone, I think, work, coaching and family life, you're always trying to juggle. Hopefully I've got it kind of all right at the minute. So I don't see me trying to change that at the minute. Like I said, it's enjoyable to watch my kids play all the sports, like every parent, I'd imagine. That gives me a good buzz as well, watching whatever they're playing. So I don't see anything changing to change what I'd be doing. But I do really enjoy being involved in an academy team. So it's good, and I think everything's in what Liam Carney's trying to do is impressive of what we got. We sometimes feels like we're backs against the wall with facilities and everything that we can all moan about, but we keep trying to do the right things. It will pay off. And like I said, the small little wins that we get, Jaden in the first team, Carlos Sullivan in the first team, that makes it worthwhile, I suppose, for everyone in the academy.
And I know there was a report came out last week saying that the game in Ireland has the least amount of people involved in youth football.
Full-time,
so hopefully...
Yeah, like
that will change. That becomes a professional job for people. I
think that's the next stage to kick on. I think for everyone is
funded from the top down or something. Yeah,
everything has to be aligned instead of probably everyone doing their own thing.
Yeah,
but it's always going to be the way in League of Ireland, I think, isn't it?
Unfortunately, there's been lots of ups and downs. Yeah. But over the years, we usually ask people questions like what was the fondest memory? Would you say going back over your career?
Fondest memory, obviously, winning titles was always a good buzz. Like Turner's Cross winning the FAI Cup was a good buzz, but probably the European trips would always stick out. Just the whole trip, really, like from start to finish. Like going over when we played Malmo, we were over there for about a week. It felt like, and stuff like that. Really, you remember them kind of things as much as the games, really. So they'd be the standout ones, winning stuff and European trips.
And over the years, who was the toughest player you played against?
I'd always Jason Byrne and Glenn Crowe would
They were
be
great forwards.
the two probably from that era that I'd go. They were the best in their position that I played against. And then once I came back again, probably Pat Hoban I always thought was really good for Dundalk when he was kind of in his prime when they were winning everything. He would have probably been the toughest second stint.
And I suppose finally, who was the best player that you played with?
Played with. I knew you were going to say, I thought you were going to ask best player I played with, or who did you give? Like you either give 11 or something like that you might think about giving, or something like best player I played with.
If you want, you can go with the 11 if you prefer the 11. You might be causing too much trouble.
Yeah, best player I played with. Like I said, any team. Like I said, Georgie was one of the most talented players. Always thought Colin Healy was top professional and player and fella. So probably, and then Flinny, Moons, Gary Twigg up in Rovers was really, really good striker. Alan Manus there's so many that you could say, but probably Georgie and Colin Healy are probably the best two that you go. They were elite footballers, do you know.
Oh, excellent. No, well, thanks for sharing all the memories with us, and best of luck to the under-20s this season.
Thanks very much.
And no doubt we'll have you in again.
Nah, desperate. As long as I'm before the kit man, listen the next time.
Earlier on, I just remembered we forgot to talk about the academy. How did they get on over the weekend?
Good weekend. The under-20s on Saturday drew 2-2 away with Cove Ramblers. Conor Drynan scored there, and Harvey Skeeters, fresh from coming off the bench in Ballybuffet.
This is becoming a regular thing where lads play for the senior team and then go and play in the youth matches the day after.
Yeah, some commitment, and to be fair to him, like Harvey was good when he came on and obviously scored in the 20s as well, so I'd imagine he's delighted with how his weekend went. The women's 17s had a big win away to Cove. Amy McCarthy got 4.
Wow.
Faye Dunley, Sophia Redmond, Eva Buckley and Kim Forrest got the other goals. On Saturday then, an interesting one in Abbottstown. So the under 15s had a sort of League of Ireland Academy Development Day, so there was a couple of matches on there. So our lads beat Shamrock Rovers 1-0, drew 1-1 with Shelburne, and then also had a 1-0 win over Galway United. So there was it's almost like a showcase of talent where all the teams
small
face off
matches
against.
or what?
I'm not 100% sure if they were full 90s or what, but they were streamed on the FAI's YouTube and stuff like that. So it seemed like a worthwhile exercise. A lot of players got a lot of football in as well, which is great to see. On Sunday then, our women's under-19s lost 2-0 away to Waterford. That one ended early due to an injury to City's Lauren Healy, but I spoke to Danny Murphy earlier and she's good. She'll be fine. She might be out for 2 or 3 weeks, but she should be back to full health soon. And yeah, everyone's looking forward to seeing her back on the pitch sooner rather than later. The men's under 17s had a 5-0 win over Limerick in Bishopstown. Then Jaden O'Donovan got 2, Denzel Obenge got 1, Jamie Kelly and Sean Richmond. And I saw on the Academy Twitter as well that it was actually Sean Richmond's birthday. And they had a cake for him in the dressing room after. So a goal and a nice old birthday cake. Not a bad way.
I hope they sang happy birthday as well.
I'd say they did. No video of that now on the Twitter, but I'd imagine they did.
No, and it shows that there's a bit of fun side of the club as well. Like, that they brought the cake.
And to be fair, the first team lads, when it's someone's birthday, there's always a bit of fun out in Bishopstown as well.
That's good.
It's not always serious business.
It's not all tough.
Yeah,
cracking the whip kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Speaking of the first team, I suppose the 2 first teams we've already mentioned. We want a big crowd on Saturday at Turner's Cross for the women. Again, it's an evening kickoff because usually they play in the afternoons, so kind of early
it's
evening. Usually
5 o'clock. This time it's 7:30, so it's a little bit later. But it just gives everyone else to get their own matches out of the way on Saturday, and then they can come join us at Turner's Cross.
And if you can't make it down, if you're up the country, it will be on TG Cahir. Yeah,
it's the first ever women's Premier Division game to be broadcast on TG Cahir from Turner's Cross, so it's brilliant. You know yourself, and everyone listening to this knows that Turner's Cross is a great stadium, and on TV it looks great. That's not a slight on the other grounds in the women's Premier Division, but it just is it's probably itself and Tala, same as in the men's, it's the best stadiums in the division. And
we should try and fill up the Derrynane there, to be honest.
I know,
It looks good when it's all full at that side.
It does, but probably long overdue to have the TV cameras there for the girls. But as we said earlier, hopefully it goes well, and a big crowd, and more importantly again, a good result.
And then on to Bank Holiday Monday, another fixture. Well, I suppose the men's team first are playing away. Let's talk about the away game first.
Yeah.
That's a hot ticket. I presume it's sold out, is it? The Kerry away?
It's very close to being sold out last I heard, but it will sell out. Look, there's going to be a big city crowd down there. It's our first trip there in the league. I don't know if we've played friendlies and stuff down there in the past, but it's definitely a first league trip, as it's obviously Kerry's second season. It's actually the last ground I have left to tick off my League of Ireland stadiums list, so I'll be delighted on Friday night. But ourselves and Kerry, they've been doing well recently. They lost last weekend, but they had a little bit of an unbeaten run going. And we obviously played on the first day of the season as well. So
yeah, and they weren't bad that day. I know we beat them, but like they weren't bad. And,
not by any stretch of the imagination. They were good.
They brought a good crowd that night as well, actually. They probably brought the biggest away following to Turner's Cross this season, from what I remember.
This season, they actually brought a much bigger away crowd than a lot of the sort of more established clubs would have brought as well over the years. So fair play to them. They brought, I can't remember, was it like 450, 550, which is brilliant.
It was a big night for them as well.
It was, yeah. And it's probably, of the stadiums, that it's their second season. It's probably like the first trip to like a big stadium that they had, which brilliant for them, brilliant for us.
Not too far either for them as well.
Exactly, so only an hour up the road with the bypass now.
Yeah, well, and that's I haven't driven that bypass yet, but yeah, I'm here and it's taken 25 minutes off the
it's brilliant. Journey. It's brilliant. It makes thought of Friday much easier. Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It really added to the occasion, and I'm sure the atmosphere down there on Friday will be electric as well. But hopefully a good result there and extend the lead a little bit more if we can.
Yeah, and hopefully good weather as well for all the people travelling down.
That's the thing.
And then only a small little window and they're back again on the bank holiday Monday playing at home.
Yeah, it's funny when it's a busy week now, because we obviously had a couple of away games, whereas now we have an away game and 2 home games at the weekend. So we have a lot of things to do this week that we haven't had to do for a few weeks, like the streams, the match programme. There's a lot of work that goes in there from the volunteers especially. But a lot to get done. Yeah, we have a lot to get done in the next couple of days. But an early kick-off on Bank Holiday Monday as well. It's a 5 o'clock kick-off. And as we said, hopefully a big crowd there and good weather as well.
It'll be lovely on a Bank Holiday Monday if
it would.
Traditionally, in the summer games that we've had, usually are decent, the weather,
And it helps that Wexford, like we played Wexford away and it was a 1-1 draw. Like it was a good game. You'd expect another good game on Monday. Good weather, a good crowd and good football. So it should be a good day out.
You mentioned the programme there. They must have had a kind of couple of weeks off, did they, the lads?
They did, yeah, sure. We obviously only do them.
Programme's been so
exactly. We only do them for home games, so it's been a bit of a gap between the last one. Probably itching to have something to write about and keeping an eye on when we'd be back. But it's funny now, because of all the away games, there'll be a lot of home games. They'll be coming thick and fast, so we'll have to do a lot of programmes in a short space of time.
It has a knock-on impact, because actually on the match night, like you have all the volunteers, you have the security, you have the food stalls, like all those for the last couple of weeks had nothing.
There's a lot more than what you think. It's not just a case of we've no match this week. There's a lot of things need to be rebooked, or like the programme, for example, like we'd have to contact the printers, the company that printed for us, and say, look, we now actually will need it on this date rather than this date. And there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people probably don't think about and wouldn't think about, because for 99% of people it wouldn't need to cross your mind. Yeah, that'll be back this week.
Next week. People can also book the corner flag through the club as well still, can't they?
You can, yeah, that's still available. The tickets are up for that for Monday. That's something that'll probably be popular, you'd imagine, on a bank holiday Monday. Lovely, yeah, especially if it's sunny.
Yeah,
but
people make the most of it.
Those tickets are available. We'll have that link going out on our socials throughout the week, as well as the regular tickets if you haven't got those already, and of course the women's tickets. So it's corkcityfc.ie/tickets, and everything is up there.
The website be fairly busy this week, so
hopefully, yeah.
Speaking of the website, is there information up there about a new competition for the kids to get involved in?
There is. You'll have seen that on our socials as well. We've got a match poster competition. So we're giving primary school kids the opportunity to design a match poster. Some of the posters will be shortlisted then by the first team. So we'll do a little video of the first team sorting through the posters and deciding which is their favourite. We'll put the shortlist to a public vote then, and the winning poster will win a training session for their class or for their school. The games we've chosen for that, there's actually 2 separate competitions, one for a men's game and one for a women's game. So it's the men's match is the Treaty United match on the 24th of May, and the women's game is the Cliftonville match in the All-Ireland Cup, which is on the 18th of May. So Friday the 10th of May is the closing date for both. If you draw up your poster or whatever you do, you can tweet us a picture, email us a picture, or if you want to post us the poster, the address is in the social media posts and in the web article. So you can physically send us the poster and then we'll have that. But closing date for those is the 10th of May, and best of luck to everyone who enters.
you want to be careful putting competitions like that out. You could be put out of a job. Like, there could be some great designer coming
brilliant
up.
for me. I'll tweet the match poster in the morning of the match. I get the night off the night before. It's brilliant. I'm like, I might do this every week.
Slave labour there with kids. Yeah, no, but it's brilliant. You know what? They love to design things, you know, and especially I think in classroom settings, coming into the summer as well, teachers are looking kind of for other things to do.
Exactly,
yeah. You know, there's a couple of teachers out there and
they'll be delighted hearing this.
Yes,
they'll be wearing their Cork City jerseys themselves, delighted.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, that kind of thing, I loved that when I was in school as well. That's why I'm here doing what I do.
There was the famous one, is it Texco art competition or the BP or whatever it was back in the day. That's always a popular one every year that the kids enter. I think the credit unions had one for the years.
Yeah, there was always something. I'd love to do a design a jersey or something like that. But maybe someday down the line we look at that.
Yeah,
but for now it's a design a match poster competition, and keep an eye on our socials and website, and we'll plug it a couple of times. If you've kids who would be interested, pass on the information. If you're a teacher at a school, by all means get in touch, and we'll give you all any details you need.
Yeah, or even if you're on a parents' association in a school or something like that, and you know you have the ear of the principal or one of the teachers in there, because sometimes the teachers don't know about the club.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
Football mightn't be their thing, so it might need somebody to kind of
just pass the
info.
Spread the word.
Spread the word, and obviously, city and county, like it doesn't matter where you are, or even if you Kerry schools or Limerick schools or Waterford Tip, we'll take them all.
Whoever, yeah. Cork City fans everywhere.
Yes, Cork City fans everywhere. Even Dublin schools if they want.
We could be sending fellas abroad to deliver the coaches to the winning school.
Maybe the LA schools. We were talking about the lads in LA.
But yeah, that's
Qatar. I don't know. Does it?
If our listeners are still in Qatar, yeah.
So we're open to entries from all over the place. So I suppose, but it has to be kids. The adults can't be entering this now.
No graphic designers.
No graphic designers. No, we'll keep it to the kids for now. And so a busy weekend coming up, but it's exciting. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Back at the Cross.
It's great to be back at the Cross. Obviously, away days are great, but nothing beats having a match in your home stadium and a big atmosphere, especially when you're top of the table. There's something special about it, and
brilliant.
Yeah, can't wait to be back.
And so we'll be looking forward to reviewing all that next week, and enjoy the bank holiday weekend, and hopefully plenty of wins for everyone.
Hopefully, another 6 points this weekend would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. 6 points at Turner's Cross at least, anyway.
And maybe another 3-way as well.
Yeah, we'll take it. But as always, thanks for listening. Leave us a rating. Make sure you're following us on Spotify. We forgot a question again. What's this week's question going to be?
Favourite football school memory or something, maybe, because we were talking about the girls going into schools as well. And
that's a good one, yeah. Because we'll have another few this week as well, actually.
Maybe at some stage somebody visited your school with an FAI Cup or a league. Or,
it's exactly what happened to me when I was in school, actually. Yeah.
So do you remember one of those moments?
Yeah. What was your favourite school-related Cork City FC moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So that'd be a good one, because it would show the ages of the listeners as well.
Exactly, yeah.
You can put in Cork Hibs and Cork Celtic as well. I don't know if they visited schools back then, but they might have.
Yeah, we'll accept anything. But we'll be back here and we'll see you next week.
Talk to you then.